Good afternoon, parents, teachers, and friends. Welcome back to the 21st Canisius Education Fair. Today, I'm Eric Putramaida, will be your host for the presentation from the University of British Columbia. Without further ado, let us hear the presentation that will be delivered by Ms. Sharon Cheng from the University British Columbia Advisor. For Ms. Sharon Cheng, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric. And let me just start my presentation. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Charlene and I am an international recruiter advisor at the University of British Columbia. And today I would like to begin by acknowledging that UBC Vancouver campus is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of Musqueam people. And UBC Okanagan campus respectfully acknowledges the traditions and customs of Select Okanagan people in whose territory the Okanagan campus is situated. Personally, I grew up on the unceded traditional territories of the Squamish Nation and Tsleil-Waututh Nation, where I also currently reside in. This is what we call land acknowledgement. It's something we do at UBC. It's a personal commitment to an appreciation for the land we lived in, and is a way to respect the ancestor who care for the land now that is caring for us. So today I'm going to share a little bit more about UBC with you, and here are the three main points that I will be talking about. And I think most people know that UBC is ranked highly in the world. A lot of our specific subjects especially are ranked top 20 worldwide. But a lot of times students ask, what does that mean? Right? It really means that UBC degree is a very portable degree. As you can see, our alumni are all over the world, more than 148 countries. Now, just to give you a little bit of an example, so for example, Angela, because she's actually originally from Indonesia, she studied microbiology and immunology in Bachelor of Science. Now, I actually personally know her a little because she worked as a logistic assistant in my office as a student. Now she's working after graduated. She's now working in a German multinational pharmaceutical and life sciences company called Bayer, right? So the idea is to imagine big. The degree can take you anywhere around the world. And this is why diversity and inclusion are very important to us. UBC is actually considered as one of the most international universities in North America. About 23% of our student populations are international students. So when you're learning at UBC, you're not just learning from a Canadian perspective, a North American perspective. You're learning from a global community that not just your professors are from different places, your classmates are also from everywhere around the world. Now, of course, I cannot talk about UBC without talking about the location. And just briefly about Canada, we often rank as the number one in terms of quality of life. The government puts a lot of effort and money into education. And one thing that sets us a little bit apart from some other countries are our 3-year postgraduate work permit. So after students obtain their degree, they are eligible to apply for the postgraduate work permit. So this would allow students to work in Canada if they choose to gain more experience. Now, British Columbia is on the very west coast of Canada. It's between the Pacific Ocean and Rocky Mountain. And it's because of the ocean and the mountain, it creates this warm climate. Now, BC actually has one of the mildest climate in Canada. Now, UBC does have 2 campuses. One is our Vancouver campus located in the city of Vancouver, and our Okanagan campus located in the city of Kelowna. And just to give you a little bit of idea in terms of where they are, as you can see, both the cities are located in the very west coast of Canada. Now, between the distance between the 2 cities, I would say it's about 4 to 5 hours by car or an hour by plane. So really, they're not that far from each other, but they're far enough that when you apply to UBC, you do have to choose a campus. You cannot study at both campuses at the same time. So a lot of times students would ask me, how do I choose a campus? Right? So the first thing you want to think about is, what do you want to study? okay, because not every program is available on both campuses. And then the second thing you want to think about is what kind of study environment does suit you the most. Now, City of Vancouver is Canada's third largest city. Okay, it's a very diverse city where about 49% of population speak more than one language. And it is often considered one of the best cities in the world. It's a city where you can go ski snowboarding in the morning, go to the beach in the afternoon, and then go shopping or to a concert at nighttime. In the summer, it's about 15 to 25 degrees Celsius, where in the winter is about 5 to 15 degrees Celsius. So not too hot, not too cold. It really does have that really mild weather that's very suitable for urban living. Now, the campus itself is about currently has about 46,000 undergraduate students. Okay, just think about that and think about how many students are in your school right now, right? So that gives you a little bit of context. It is a very big campus, and here just showing you some of the beauty shot of the campus, Vancouver campus. And it is a big campus. Not every student like that kind of environment. Some students prefer a smaller community, right, where they can get to know everyone else very well. And this is really where our Okanagan campus comes in. Now, City of Kelowna is one of the fastest growing city in Canada. It's about top 5 cities for the quality of life. It's actually very similar to Vancouver. There are lots of outdoor activity and nature to enjoy. It is a little bit hotter in the summer. It can be about 25 to 35 degrees Celsius. And it could be a little bit cooler in the winter. It can be minus 15 to about 15 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, it has a wider range of temperature. However, it has a very, very dry climate. It actually is a very desert type of climate. So it doesn't rain as much as Vancouver. So if you don't like rain, Kelowna is a great option. Now, one thing very unique about Kelowna is it has a booming technology industry. There are more than 700 tech startup companies located in Kelowna. So if you're interested in computer science or engineering, Kelowna is actually a really good city to be in. Now, the campus itself currently has about 10,000 undergraduate students. So when you compare that number to 46,000 undergraduate students in Vancouver campus, you can see the difference, right? So this is the campus where it's a very close-knit community where you get to know your professors really well and you get to know your classmates really well. Now, here's some of the beauty shot of the campus. And again, this is a really great option. So I always tell students when you are choosing campuses, you want to think about the type of program that you're interested in. And then the second thing is the type of environment that you enjoy more. Now, there's so many things you can do on campus, inside and outside the classroom. And here, this is what we call active learning, or learning is about an experience, right? So here are some of the examples things that you can do, again, inside or outside the classroom. So for example, research. Sometimes it is really as easy as to go up to the professor and ask them if you can join their research. And just to give you a very, very quick example, that there's so many research opportunities available for students. So this is Dr. Peter Killis. He's actually the co-founder of Acutas Therapeutics. It's a UBC spin-off company developed the lipid nanoparticle technology that allowed the Pfizer BioNTech mRNA vaccine to enter human cell, right? So those are really, really cool opportunity and practical opportunities that's available to students. Now, the next thing is work experience. I think this is a very, very popular concept, the co-op work experience that's available for students. So the idea is that you will actually take a pause for a semester. You will go work full-time at a real company with a real job, right? So this way you get to experience what it's like to use what you study in school in a real life setting. I would say about 90% of co-op students receive a job offer within 1 month of graduation. So this is something I highly encourage students to think about, especially if you're international students where you don't have local connection here to help you get that first job. Going through co-op allows you to start meeting new people, potential employers as a student. So by the time you're ready to graduate, you already have potential job offers. Now, one thing I always tell students about club is that in your first year to make sure to join at least one club, because this is the place where you're going to get to meet students who come from a completely different background, or someone who's studying something completely different, but you all share that same interest. And clubs can range from a very academic club, like for example, civil engineering club, or to very fun club, right? So like UBC ski and board, if you dance club, right? So there's a wide range of clubs for you to choose from. And this is something I always tell students, it doesn't matter which school you end up going, is to join at least one club in your first year, because that's where you get to meet people and make friends and start building your community at that university. Now, very briefly about Go Global. This is our study abroad program. We work with more than 200 universities around the world. And even coming as an international student, you can also travel to other places to learn a different language and to gain more and different experiences as a student. Now, last but not least is our athletics department. And there's so many facilities. So for example, we do have an Olympic-sized swimming pool for students to use. And there are 35 varsity teams. So if you want to compete competitively, that's an option. But we also take into account that physical wellness students are also very important. So there are also just clubs or, for example, tennis court, soccer field that student can use and practice and just keep themselves physically healthy. And of course, in addition to our physical health, we also value students' mental health. And there are lots of student support programs. And for example, this program is called BARC. As you can see here, it's building academic retention through canines. Okay, so the idea is to use dog, which is so cute, to support the social and emotional well-being of university students, right? Especially for first-year student where you're moving to a new country, you're starting new things. There's so many different challenges and you might be homesick, right? So going through this program can help students to find a belonging and of course to play with cute puppies. Now, UBC also offers free counseling for students, wellness center, peer health educator, disability resources, spiritual multi-faith spaces, doctors and nurses available on each of our campuses. This is to make sure students to get the support that they need. Now, what can you study at UBC? We have so many different major options within 18 different faculties. And I'll give you a very, very quick example. So this is Valley. She was born in UK. She grew up in several countries in Africa. She's a creative writer interested in animal biology, music, acting, languages, and more. She didn't want to commit to a specialization too early. And then she realizes that UBC's course schedule offers her a way to combine all her interests. Now she's heading into her 4th year. She's excited to have taken classes across multiple faculties. And she's doing major in creative writing from Faculty of Arts and minor in applied animal biology from Faculty of Land and Food Systems. And she runs a show at UBC campus radio station. She competed as a synchronized swimmer and she's become a member of German singing group, right? So the idea is to explore and not to limit yourself as there's so many options possible at UBC. Now, in terms of admission requirement, I will actually just say to go to our website, select international schools, and select Indonesia as your country and the program that you're interested in applying. Then you will be able to see all the courses that's required in order to apply to UBC. We do ask students to prove their English proficiency. As you can see, IELTS 6.5, TOEFL is 90. We also have a few pathway programs that are designed for students who are academically strong, but they're just missing a little bit of English. And you can visit those programs on their website. They will have more detailed description so you can understand a little bit more about them. Now, UBC is a very competitive school. Okay, you need to be strong academically, especially in the main subject required for the program that you're interested in. So, however, it's not just your grades that matter the most. Something we call personal profile is also very, very important. Personal profile is a 4 to 7 short essay question about you and your experiences. So this is the perfect place for you to tell us who you are as a person. What are your interests? Why do you want to study a particular subject? And what do you want to do in the future? So, right, this is a good place for you to express yourself. Personal profile is really important, not just for admissions purposes, it's also for scholarship opportunities. So in order to receive some scholarships or larger amount of scholarships, you need to have a very strong personal profile. So I highly encourage students to spend more time and make sure that they spend some time, make sure they perfect their personal profile. Now, this is roughly how much it costs for first year, just to give you a very brief idea. But what I'm going to spend a little bit more time on is the scholarship opportunities. Okay, so for our entrance award, there are two types. The first one is what we call merit-based scholarship. And the second one is what we call need and merit-based scholarship. So for merit-based scholarship, for example, our Outstanding International Student Award is a one-time entrance award up to $20,000. There's no additional application. When you apply to UBC, we will automatically evaluate you for the scholarship. And it will be based on your entrance GPA and your personal profile. So remember when I say personal profile is really important, and this is part why. Now, the second one is what we call the International Major Entrance Scholarship. So again, this is the merit-based scholarship where it is actually renewable up to 4 years. Okay, so again, there's no additional application. We will automatically evaluate you for those scholarships. And again, it's going to be based on your GPA and personal profile. Now, our full funded scholarship is what we call international scholars. Okay, so those are the 4 different kinds where the Vantage One is applicable for our Vantage One program, the pathway program. Now, this is where if you're interested in applying, the application will be available in early October. So make sure you check the website and to understand what all the requirements are in order to apply for the International Scholars Program. Now, last but not least is the housing. All you have to remember is as long as you apply before the housing deadline, first year housing is guaranteed. And I do encourage students, especially international students, to stay on campus in the first year because it really is such an easy way for you to meet people, to make friends. And of course, who does not like to just wake up for your 8 a.m. class, wake up at 7:55, roll out of bed and go to class, right? So those are really the high perks of living on campus. Now, here are some options that you can connect with us. Obviously, there's the booth, and I highly encourage, I will invite Luis to come on just shortly to talk about that. But here are just some of the things that, of course, our website is all the information, all the admission requirements that you need. And then, of course, if you would like to get in touch with me, and you can also fill out this survey, and then you'll be able to chat with me more. Okay, so I know there's some Q&A, so I want to leave time for to answer your questions.
All right, thank you, Ms. Charlene. That was a really good presentation. It was great for a lot of people who actually really excited to actually with Pfizer and stuff like that. Well, it's really great. Before I went into some of questions, can I actually share a little bit of Vista education here? All right, let me share a little bit. All right. Okay. So hi everyone. We are actually a Vista Education who actually help UBC. We are actually the only agent who can help a lot of people who is thinking, I want to go to UBC. Then we are the only agent available to help you. So buat teman-teman di sini yang memang beneran penasaran kayak kayaknya UBC ini keren banget nih, ini mantep banget nih. Ini teman-teman boleh daftar ke apa namanya, ke Vista Education, dan teman-teman boleh lihat ya di booth kita ada booth apa namanya, UBC, University of British Columbia. Kita ada 10 branches. We have 10 branches, and we have helped a lot of people from 98. So we don't just help one people, we don't just help two people, we help like 14,000 students to 15 other countries. If someone asks what is Vista, then we are our services concludes that we help a lot of people to study abroad. We help their English. So I believe that when you apply for UBC, then you have to prepare for essay. So we're gonna help you with that too, and we have a lot of things to help you. Then how can we help you? We do deep consultation, school application process, and then we help you for student visa and accommodation. And at last, we're gonna have to prepare for pre-departure orientation. We're gonna help you. How are you gonna find your transportation or accommodation or anything? And it's not only and we have also Vista English. If you don't feel confident with your English, then we have TOEFL and IELTS preparation. As you can hear from Ms. Charlene, the requirement for UBC, since UBC is very famous university, so you need to have a really high TOEFL and IELTS. So you can prepare. If you don't feel confident, we can help you with that. And we actually help a lot of students to various countries. And at last, if you really want to know more about UBC, and if you are thinking, how's my IELTS, and I don't know what major am I gonna do, then you can actually scan or just visit our booth, and then we're gonna start with a question. Since a lot of question, I don't think we can answer it, but we'll try to answer it one by one. But if your question didn't get answered, just please chat us, or please just go to our forum and we'll try to help you as much as we can. So Ms. Charlene, there are, just a minute, Samuel Ryan asks, excuse me, I would like to ask, what is the average cost to live in Vancouver for a single semester?
Oh, cost is a hard question to answer. Vancouver, honestly, is not the cheapest city to live in. But I always tell students it also depends on, for example, the type of setup you're looking for. Are you looking to stay in a single apartment, or are you okay with sharing an apartment with a roommate in a garden suite unit, right? So the cost can really vary depending on what type of setup that you're looking for. I do encourage students to budget at least, I would say, 1,500 to 2,000 a month for your living costs. So that includes your rent and your utilities, anything that you might need, your food, right? So roughly that's what I would recommend students for 1,500 to 2,000 Canadian dollars a month.
All right, thank you, Charlene. I hope it will help you, Samuel Ryan, to answer a little bit of your question. And then James Ari asks, hi, does UBC offer scholarships for future students planning to study medicine? Wow, we've got a future doctor here. If yes, what are the specific requirements needed to apply? Thank you.
So just to clarify, medical school in Canada is not something high school students can apply to directly after high school. Okay, they need to have at least 3, depending on the medical school, they need to have at least 3 years in university before they can apply. Now, most university medical school in Canada actually do not accept international student. And unfortunately, UBC Medical School does not accept international student. Thus, there's no scholarship for it.
All right. Thank you. I hope it's gonna answer a little bit of your, and it's gonna be a relief for you if you're thinking of doing medicine. Okay. There's another a student asked. His name was Norbert, and he asked, "Hello, I'd like to ask if is there any designing or digital art major at the university? If there are any, what are the special requirements needed to apply? Thanks in advance."
Yeah, so we have visual arts as our in our Bachelor of Fine Arts, but we also have a very, very unique program called Bachelor of Media Studies. So it's not, the media study program is not just about design. It's got a little bit of computer science, graphic design, television, film. So it's kind of like it's a multimedia study program that's all together, but it's very, very unique, especially for students who are interested in kind of explore different aspect of design. That's actually a very, very good program to go through. And for both programs, for Bachelor of the Fine Arts, Visual Arts, Fine Arts, and the Bachelor of Media Study, both require portfolio.
Wow. So yeah. And another student, wow, this is a really good question. Emmanuel Matthew asks, "Hi, I want to ask question. Are students allowed to take part-time job there? And are there any differences in school activities between campus in Vancouver or Okanagan?"
So yes, so as long as you have Canadian study permit, you are eligible to work part-time. I believe it's 10 hours or 20 hours per week. So yes, it is possible. Now, in terms of campus activity, they're very much similar. They both have clubs, athletic facilities for students to use. Vancouver is bigger. So for example, Vancouver does have a swimming pool, whereas Okanagan campus does not. But in terms of clubs and all other activities are very similar to one another.
All right. This is going to be probably our last question that we're trying to answer because of the limited time, and probably after answering the question, Charlene Chan would probably gonna say something at the end of the presentation. So Lawrence Suwandi asks, "Hi, I would like to ask you a question. How would you describe the people and environment around the university? Thank you."
Oh, very interesting question. So I guess the best way to answer that is a couple of days ago was the first day of school. And especially after COVID, it was such a nice, pleasant feeling to see all the students on campus and everyone was having fun. They just have that finally everything is kind of back to normal feeling. In general, Canadian people are quite nice. I think you might have heard of that, of course, but I always tell students it's for you to come here and to enjoy and then to really learn it firsthand.
All right. So do you have...
Yeah, so I guess this is the closing remark. I want to say thank you for joining us for this session. We do have a booth and other forums, methods that you can ask us more questions. And I hope this was helpful.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We love SMA Canisius.
Thank you, Ms. Charlene Chang and Mr. Luis. Because our time is up, I want to remind the audience, if you still have questions, you can go directly to the virtual booth of the University of British Columbia at the Canisius Education Fair 2021 application. And thanks to Ms. Charlene Cheng, Mr. Lewis, and the University of British Columbia for participate in Canisius Education Fair 2021. Thank you once again, and this event sponsored by